photographers. Okay, we've got here on the silver limited edition K5 is the Tamron, right there, the Tamron SP AF 17-50 f2.8 XR LD aspherical IF for Pentax. DI2. So the guy up at PhotoZone who does lens reviews always makes fun of Tamron for their gigantic names, and I kind of get it. I mean, it all means something, but really, do you need all that in the title of the name? Having said that, let me tell you something. We also got today the Tamron SP, Tamron SP AF 10-24 f3545 DI2 LD aspherical IF for Pentax. So the focus of this review or video is the 17-50 2.8. Let's shorten that down. So here's what you need to know. In the Pentax mount, which is what I got right here, in the Pentax mount, okay, this lens is a great option, and I tell you right now, I've tested it, and based upon the price and everything about the lens, I highly recommend this lens. As a matter of fact, I would say that the 17-50 2.8 is the first choice in all the options out there for a go-to lens for your main zoom lens in your Pentax K5, K5 II, K5 IIs kit. It's that good. It really is. So why? Well, you know what? This whole thing's going to revolve around quality and price. Okay? And the deal is this, okay? This is the best quality for the lowest price. And it's the quality divided by price ratio that makes this lens a winner. Alright? So criteria number one, this is how a professional looks at equipment. Alright, this is what way I look. I mean, maybe everybody does, but this is the way a professional photographer looks at their equipment, okay? First of all, there's a go, no-go decision. Can this lens get the job done? From 17-50 f2.8 and everything that I want a 17-50 f2.8 normal zoom, wide to tele zoom to do in your normal focal length ranges, can this lens accomplish that task? Is it sharp enough? Will it deliver the goods? Can I get the photographs? Okay, comparable to the other lenses that are out there. The answer for this Tamron is unequivocally yes. So it passes the first go, no-go decision. Okay? So the lens capable. Alright, so what's the benefits of this lens? Number one, I mean, first of all, it's made in Japan. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know what? It's not made in Vietnam or assembled in Vietnam. No offense to the Vietnamese, I'm sure they're wonderful people. But you know what? The Germans are known for making Leicas, and the Germans started making Leicas in Canada, and even to this day, they don't command the same resale value as the Leicas made in Germany. You know, it's just a word. I mean, I'm sure that the quality is the same. It's just psychological. But you know what? It's like what one of the doctors said about the placebo effect. You give somebody a placebo, if it takes their symptoms away, it's still working. The placebo effect is still in effect, right? So that's how I look at, you know, I'm not racist or anything like that. That's how I look at what it says on the lens. If I'm buying a Japanese lens, I like it to be made in Japan. We won't even get into American cars. Okay, if I'm buying an American car, I'd like it to be made in America. If I'm buying a Japanese car, I'd like it to be made in Japan. It's ridiculous that a Honda is made in America and a Dodge is made in Mexico. Does it make any real difference? The quality of the Dodge is excellent, the quality of Honda is excellent, the quality, I mean, no, but it's just psychological. Alright, that's enough of that. You know I get lost on tangents. The Tamron lenses are made in Japan. They're not assembled in Vietnam. I like that. I like that. What can I say? Okay, price. $500 with a $75 rebate right now. $425 for a 17 to 50 2.8 zoom, professional quality, I mean image quality zoom lens. You know, that makes up for there. You know, that gives us a lot of wiggle room on some of the other features. Okay, if this lens was $1,000, it'd be like, well, you know, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I'll go for the weather sealed Pentax, right? So that gets us to one of the things about the Tamron. It's not weather sealed, but it comes back to price, right? So you're gonna pay $1,500, $1,425 on sale for the Pentax right now. Pentax 16 to 50 2.8. Optically comparable lens, right? Some reviews say it's worse, some reviews say it's better than the Tamron. Seriously. $1,425 for the Pentax. You can have 3 Tamrons, the price of 1 Pentax. So what I say is, if you're a professional, take your Tamron out, take it out in the rain in the water and go scuba diving with it if you want. And if you ruin it, you buy another one and still be 30% ahead of the game. That sounds ridiculous. But 3 Tamrons may be better than 1 weather sealed Pentax. See what I'm getting at? So let's get back to where Pentax shot themselves in the foot, right? The Pentax 16 to 50 2.8 at $799, that's a tough one, okay? Because you get the weather sealing, all right? You get the SDM. Questionable, I know, but at least you get it, right? So at $1,425, Tamron all the way. And that's what Pentax did to themselves, right? So I'm getting distracted because I think somebody's coming. But all right, I'll have to halt this. We're getting a delivery. I'll be back. Thanks. All right, anybody who watches Photo Universe knows we play pretty fast and loose around here. So we just had a delivery, and me being the cameraman and the presenter, you know, so we got to go get the delivery too. So we're also the stock boy, right? Okay, so $425 weather sealing. You could buy another one. Really, I mean, you know, weather sealing. All of a sudden, is weather sealing worth $1,000? That's the point, right? Maybe it is. I mean, if you really think that weather sealing is important to you, and it's worth that $1,000, you'll spend it, right? Okay. So that's one thing you're losing. Let's talk about the autofocus, okay? One of the things, if Tamron's watching this, or if they ever see this, I'll tell you right now, don't change this. Do not put the micro motor, the DC motor that you have in the Nikon, in this lens for Pentax. Do not do that, okay? Let's talk about autofocus. There's 4 kinds of autofocusing lenses. There's the original screw drive, and if you're familiar with Pentax, you know what I'm talking about. There's, and so you either have a screw drive where the motor's in the camera, or you have a motor in the lens, okay? Some brands like Canon, there's no such thing as a motor in the camera, okay? All the motors are in the lens. So with Pentax, you still have the screw drive, or you can have like the SDM motor in the lens, okay? So then, okay, this lens is a screw drive lens. That's a good thing, I think. The reason why is it's fast, it's extremely reliable, it's old school, it's quick, it's just not quiet, okay? It's as fast as the SDM without any of the worries of the SDM motor quitting, right? Because the motor in the camera, the autofocus motor in the camera is reliable. We know that, all right? From proven track record, it's proven technology, okay? So if you put a motor in the lens, right, you can have little, there's 3 ways you can do that. You can have a little, like those little car motors when you were a kid, you have a little micro motor in the lens that turns a gear that turns the focus. That can either be just a standard DC motor like in your little toy cars when you were a kid, or it can be a silent drive motor that's a little tiny, like Canon's 51.4 has that. It's an ultrasonic motor, but it's a little tiny motor. Okay? Or you can have a ring type ultrasonic motor, like Canon's L series lenses and most of their ultrasonic lenses other than the 51.4 have. Okay? As far as I know, other than I think the Sigmas have ring type motors for some of their Pentax mount lenses. That's the most desirable in terms of autofocus motors. But given my choice, I mean, if Tamron wants to upgrade this lens, upgrade it with a ring type USM, ultrasonic motor, SDM, whatever, you want sonic drive motor, whatever you want to call it. I would prefer that to screw drive. If you put a DC motor in this lens, you've ruined it. Seriously. And the SDM motor that Pentax uses, you know, somebody commented in my, when I was ranting about Pentax USA and the 16-50 and all that, that Pentax said at Photokina, some guy at Pentax said at Photokina, that Pentax has redesigned the lens in 2012, the SDM, because they know there was a problem, which kind of negates the fact that statistically there wasn't a problem, was what Pentax USA was saying. So, which is it, okay? But this guy in Germany was saying they've redesigned the motor, there won't be any more SDM problems. Well, you know, there's no problems with screw drive. It works, it's fast, it gets the job done, and it's the most reliable kind of autofocus. It's just noisy. On some of your bigger lenses, it's a little slower. On a 17-50, I prefer this, the screw drive in this lens, and the 10-24 than having some DC micro motor that sucks. Like the people with the, you know, some of the Canon mounts and the Nikon mounts. I mean, this lens in Canon and Nikon must be a dog as far as autofocus is concerned compared to screw drive. Or the ring type if the 17-50 Sigma has the ring type. I know it's confusing, but you know what? Maybe somebody doesn't understand the differences in all the different kinds of autofocus motors and all the different kind of autofocus systems that there are in cameras. So that's kind of explaining all that. Having said that, very pleased it's got the screw drive. I find it to be fast, I find it to be accurate, and I find it to, it's a little noisy. Okay? You know, every time I try to demonstrate something when I'm doing a video. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can or not. There you go. Right? I don't know if you can hear that or not. That's how noisy it is. Doesn't bother me. So, not for that kind of money. Okay, that I prefer the screw drive to the SDM that might be a problem later on. The screw drive's not going to fail. I mean, you know. So what are you not getting for your money for 425 bucks compared to 1425 or 650 for the Sigma, right? Well, the Sigma's got that better focusing. You know, I've read reports that the optical quality of this lens is better than the Sigma 17-50. That's 6 of one, half dozen of another. I'll tell you one of the things I really like about Tamron. They've got the orange dot and a bar, but mostly the orange dot to match up to the orange. It sounds stupid, I know. But there's the orange dot on the camera, just like a Pentax lens, there's the orange dot. The 10-24, when I do that review, it's even better. It's got a big bright orange triangle up there. It's the little things. That's brilliant. That's one of the things I don't like about Sigmas. I can't find the little white dot to line up. I mean, I'm looking for the orange dot because Pentax is all orange dots, right? Little tiny details. Sigma, if you're listening, particularly in your Pentax mount cameras, put that orange dot on there. It'll make all the difference. So one of the things kudos to Tamron, orange dot, and that big orange triangle on the 10-24 when I do that review, brilliant. So, okay, this is not a pound nails lens. Okay, this isn't a go to war lens. All right, it's light and fast, and it's kind of. It's quality construction. Okay, this is not garbage. This is a step above your kit lens, kinda, or as good a quality as your kit lens, maybe a step above, but it's not your heavy-duty Nikon, you know, or Canon Pro Series Battle Axe, heavy-duty weather sealed, you know. But the 17-55. EFS Canon is what, 1,400-1,300 bucks, right? 1,400-1,500, I don't know. So yeah, you're not getting that kind of build quality, but you're not getting bad. You're getting build quality that I think is better than $425 worth, and that's the key. So sharpness, the tests that I've done real fast, it's great. I mean, it's good. It's not good enough. I hate saying that. It's, you know, at f2.8 in the extreme corners, things might get a little soft. A little soft, not like Coke bottle soft, a little soft. SDM 16 to 50 does that. Pentax. So for $1,425, I mean, the image quality is pro grade. So for other than those other things I mentioned, can you tell I'm kind of really chuffed to get this kind of quality and the size and the weight and for $425? So, I mean, yeah. So if you wanted to put together a professional kit that you could make money with, probably for you. Oh, the last thing, and this is really kind of the kicker, okay? A freaking 6-year warranty. That build quality all of a sudden seems a lot better. All right? I mean, take it easy. Don't be bashing your equipment around. Use it. 6-year warranty. And, you know, warranty is only as good as the company you send it back to. From what I'm hearing and reading on the web, Tamron is got a great customer service department, a great repair department. They do good things for their customers. They're customer service oriented. A 6-year warranty, customer service oriented, decent quality, made in Japan, excellent image quality, for $500, and they give you $75 back. That's impressive, and that's what I'm on about. So you want to put together a professional K5 kit, Tamron 10 to 24, Tamron 10 to 24 3545, Tamron 17 to 50 2.8, Tamron 70 to 200 2.8. You just covered from 15 millimeter, in full frame terms, you covered from 15 millimeter to 300 millimeter, and you've got from 100 millimeter to 300, well, you know, you've got from 28 millimeter to 300 millimeter in full frame terms at 2.8. And the wide angle, you don't need 2.8. The 10 to 24, it does, you know, because, you know, it's only 10 to 17 at your 3.5, 4.5, right? Because from 17 up, you switch lenses, you're 2.8 again. And everything I just said to you, you're talking $1,000 rounding, plus you get $125 back. So $875, you get the 10 to 24, the 17 to 50, and for another $770, you get the 70 to 200. You're talking a little bit more than $1,500, and you've got a 3-lens professional image quality kit with a 6-year warranty. It sounds like a frickin' Tamron commercial. It's that good, okay? And you know, the waters were muddied when Pentax had decent pricing on their lenses. But since they've gone bananas, the waters aren't muddy at all. 6-year warranty, excellent customer service department, reputation for customer-oriented service, professional image quality. You can't go wrong. There's your profession. So it's about $1,700. You've got a 3-lens. So $1,700. You got a 3-lens professional kit for your Pentax system. You're done. You're good for 6 years or more, depending on how good how well you take care of your equipment. You know, I mean, bad luck. Get your camera bag run over by a truck or something. Seriously, you can't go wrong. You know, watch the quality control. You get the lens. Take some straightforward photographs, blow them up to 100%, check the corners at 2.8, at a 5.6, at f8. You know, what are we looking for? We're looking for one corner being Coke bottle resolution while the other ones are somewhat sharp. That shows you something's wonky. I've had Nikon lenses that have done that. I had a Nikon 17 to 55 2.8 that I paid over $1,000 for, that one side of the image was sharp and the other side of the image wasn't. So something was very off there. you know, what can you expect? Okay, you go out and you take some photographs of some detailed stuff, good light, good f2.8. At f2.8, I would expect the extreme corners to be a little soft. The center should be crackly sharp. And get less sharp from there, but still sharp. And then the corners should be, the extreme corners should be evenly, like at f2.8 I'll take a little softening, okay, because it's f2.8, and the best lenses do that. Okay, that's the way that my Canon L series lenses are. No problem. And that's the way this lens is. I've already tested it. At f5.6 I kind of want the corners to be a little sharper. You know, not center sharp, but decently sharp. Nothing Coke bottle, nothing really bad. Okay. Chromatic aberration, you're going to get it, particularly like tree branches against the sky, stuff like that. You're going to get that. That's not as big an issue as it used to be because it's removable. Okay, that's another thing about this lens. Because it's not a Pentax lens, the Pentax camera does not have the deep data for the lens. So, this could be an issue. If you shoot JPEGs exclusively, you can't get the chromatic aberration or lens distortion automatic removal in your JPEGs in camera. It's important to know that, because if that's important to you, you can only get the Pentax lenses to do that. If I'm wrong about that, please somebody let me know, because that would be cool. Okay, if you can shoot JPEGs with the Tamron lens and have the camera correct for distortion and aberration, that'd be awesome. But I shoot, the way I get around that is I pretty much tend to anything serious I shoot raw, or anything I'm not worried about chromatic aberration or distortion, like a wedding or whatever. You shoot in a wedding, bride and groom, unless you're doing an outdoor portrait, you don't get chromatic aberration inside a church or around the church for portraits. So then I'll shoot, it's not a problem, I'll shoot JPEGs. If I'm doing landscapes, serious landscapes where the chromatic aberration might be a problem, or distortion might be a problem, it's always raw. It's DNG, not PEF, not the Pentax raw file, but the Adobe raw file. Take it into Adobe Photoshop, camera raw, and believe it or not, up comes the 28 for the 17 to 50. Up comes the 28 to 75 information, and you know, big deal. It works. It takes out the aberration, and even if you didn't want to use that profile, I just do that because I did that because it's quick. You can custom do it. It'll take the time. So you can get the distortion and aberration correction in Adobe Camera Raw shooting Pentax with a Tamron lens. Okay, that's it. But you can't do it. I think. I don't know how. If you can, somebody let me know, please. You can't do it shooting JPEG in the camera because the camera doesn't have the data for the lens. Okay. I think I pretty much covered it. I mean, unless if you know, some people watch these reviews are getting longer. I mean, you know, Nut and Fancy. This is where I always wanted to take Photo Universe. I wanted to take it to like in-depth reviews that really explain stuff to people. People might wonder, how does autofocus work? What about chromatic aberration? What about, you know, all that stuff? Really going into detail on it. And I mean, I know I'm going to bore some people. Are going to be like, oh my goodness, what the heck is this? I get that. Okay, Nut and Fancy. Kudos to him. He's the guy that I kind of modeled this after. He does the camping gear and the guns and the knives and the flashlights, all that cool stuff, reviews. I've really spent a lot of money watching his channel. But Nut and Fancy, I mean, he goes into excruciating detail on some of this stuff. Some of it I'm not interested in, but you know what? It's every once in a while he says something, I go, yeah, that's it. So it's worth listening to, you know? But you have to go through that excruciating detail. Somebody's going to go, wow, I didn't know that about the AF. That explains it, the micro motor. That's why this lens sucks and that lens great, and his screwdriver, and why it's noisy enough. That's okay. And okay, so you guys get that. Okay. So I'm really excited that I'm able to start doing these longer Nut and Fancy style camera reviews that can go into the detail and take the time to explain stuff. And for the people that I'm boring, you know, which may be everybody, I don't know, but some people seem to enjoy this stuff. You know, I apologize. I mean, not everybody likes the Nut and Fancy stuff either. I mean, they gave, and he's got a good attitude towards it. I mean, he did a flashlight review. It was like 40 minutes, and somebody wrote in a comment like, "Dude, you just spent 40 minutes talking about a flashlight." You know what? I watched the video for 40 minutes and I dug it, okay? And there's other people who are gonna go, you push this switch, it lights up. What's the point? All right, so glad I could visit with you guys. As you can tell, I'm very enthusiastic about the 17 to 50 Tamron. You know, fantastic stuff. You know, and it kind of comes back down to like, why am I messing with this Pentax? Why do I shoot this? Why am I messing with an off-brand lens? I'm a professional. Why I got Canon gear in there? And the answer is because as great as that Canon gear is, and as reliable and as perfect, and as, you know, you just push the button and it works and I get the shot and there's no challenge, really. I shot this today with this lens and took some photographs. This camera is a pleasure to use. That's why I'm with Pentax. That's why I try so hard to use this. Because, you know, this is the way I want a camera to be. I pick up this camera and I just love using it. And I pick up the cameras and it's like, it's work. Not that it's hard, it's easier to photograph with the Canons. Because here I gotta adjust stuff and the metering, and you know, I'm always overriding stuff more and thinking more with this. The Canons, I'm pushing the button and getting the shot. But there's something about if you've got a K5 or you've shot a Pentax, there's something about shooting this camera. There's something about the Pentax, and you know what I'm talking about if you've got one. I just really enjoy it. It's like old school or retro, or it just feels right. It just one of those things that's hard to describe, obviously. So anyway, hey Photo Universe, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. For all the guys that hung in there, all the people, gals, there's a few now. Our demographics are getting like 90-10 now, so there's some gals watching. I gotta be careful. Yeah, you know, acknowledge them too. For all the people that hung in there and watched this, I appreciate it, and hopefully, you know, maybe there was something in there you enjoyed. But I'm telling you, if you're looking for a 17 to 50 do-it-all lens that's as sharp as primes, which I think this lens is, you know, this is it. The Tamron's a winner. 6-year warranty. You know, yeah, I've said it all. So there it is. Okay. Hey, thanks for the universe. Have a good one. Appreciate it.